More than 3 years after the UK voted to leave the European Union, their defeat leaves the cause of Brexit unresolved, with possible outcomes still ranging from a turbulent no-deal exit to abandoning the whole endeavour. An alliance of opposition lawmakers, backed by 21 rebels from Johnson's Conservative Party, defeated the government on a motion allowing them to try to pass a law which would force a 3-month extension to Britain's EU exit date. Johnson cast the rebellion as an attempt to surrender to the EU and vowed never to delay Brexit beyond October 31.
I don't want an election. The public don't want an election. I don't believe the right honourable gentleman wants an election. But if the House votes for this bill tomorrow, the public will have to choose who goes to Brussels on October the 17th to sort this out and take this country forward. Everybody knows that if the right honourable gentleman is the Prime Minister, he will go to Brussels and beg for an extension. He will accept, you will accept whatever Brussels demands, and we will have years more arguments over Brexit. And by contrast, Mr. Speaker, everyone knows that if this government is in charge and if I go to Brussels, I will go for a deal, and I believe I will get a deal. And we will leave anyway. Even if we don't, we will leave anyway on October the 31st. The people of this country will have to choose, Mr. Speaker. The Leader of the Opposition has been begging for an election for 2 years. He has crowds of supporters outside calling for an election. I don't want an election, but if MPs vote tomorrow to stop negotiations and to compel another pointless delay to Brexit, potentially for years, then that would be the only way to resolve this. And I can confirm that we are tonight tabling a motion under the fixed term.
There is no consent. There is no consent in this House to leave the European Union without a deal. There is no majority for no deal in the country. As I've said before, if the Prime Minister has the confidence in his Brexit policy, when he has one he can put forward, he should put it before the people in a public vote. And so he wants to table a motion for a general election. Fine, get the bill through first in order to take no deal off the table.
Under UK's Parliament Act, a Prime Minister must have the backing of at least 2/3 of MPs before an election can be called outside the fixed 5-year terms. Esther Mokariola, TVC News.
Joining me to make sense of all the happenings in Britain now is legal practitioner Santoma Joel. It's good to have you in the studio this time around. It's good to also have you in Nigeria. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Right. So looking at what's going on in Britain, let's begin with this expulsion, so to speak, of 21 Tory members. Would you advise that was that really a wise move to make?
Well, it's not about whether or not it's a nice move to make.
Wise.
Wise move to make. But the Prime Minister have decided to expel them from the party, given their rebellious behavior, and he's looking to foster his desires through the Parliament. And remember, the Prime Minister is such a very stubborn man, so he would want to do whatever that is within his power in order to see that the promises he made before getting into that position will be satisfied.
But how sustainable is Boris Johnson's policies, hard stance policies, so to speak now? He clearly is leaving the table open for a no-deal exit come the end of October. This against a parliament where we see that the majority is obviously not buying that.
Yeah, basically he's proposed a general election in the mid-October, in order to see if he can gain the confidence of the masses. And if that were to be done, if the election were to happen, that could be an elephant trap on Jeremy Corbyn, because rather than asking for the bill to prevent the no deal exit, the election may actually give the Prime Minister enough confidence in order to see his desire of exiting the European Union without a deal.
So you feel the majority of the Britons actually want Britain out of the EU with or without a deal?
No. The majority they don't want the British government to leave the European Union without a deal, because they know the consequences of what is going to be to the economy of the Britain. But what is happening now is, if there were to be an election today, so many people don't see the Labour Party winning this election because of the person who is the leader at the moment. So you may well see a situation...
That's Jeremy Corbyn.
That's Jeremy Corbyn. So you may well see a situation whereby if the Prime Minister doesn't even win, if the Conservative Party don't even win an outright majority, we might find ourselves in a hung parliament. And where that is the case, the Prime Minister still has an edge to continue with what his desires are.
But looking at the disadvantages now in living without a deal, Jeremy Corbyn has also said there will be medicine shortages, there will be food shortages. Is this the crux of the concerns against this option of a no deal?
Remember, the premise of the referendum at the first instant or the outset was that they wanted to gain back the control of their border. So a lot of things that were said in the course of that referendum were all lies. So now the Prime Minister and his party are saying that they've made adequate provision for all the things that Jeremy Corbyn and some other people are complaining about, i.e. the shortage of medicine and then the health workers. They are saying that they've made adequate provisions for that, and that is not going to be a problem should the United Kingdom exit the European Union without a deal.
All right, Santoma Joel, thank you very much for your contributions and explanations on this issue in Britain. And enjoy your stay, the rest of your stay in Nigeria.
Thank you for having me.